This video is a study in lead guitar playing. In it, I will be discussing the uses of chord tones, notes that are part of the chord that are easily found in the shapes of the chord. Here you see a C major and also a C minor chord played with their root notes on the 8th fret of string 6. These two chords represent the common knowledge, most preferred, or go-to versions of the chords for most guitar players. For the rest of this lesson, we're just going to focus on these two chords and one fantastic technique used to turn these chords into great sounding solos. That technique is simply applying what are called tensions. Melodic tensions are extensions of the basic triad. You will already know a little bit about this if you've ever played any jazz chords, or 9th chords, or 7th chords, or any kind of fancy chord. The numbers 9 and 7 refer to these tensions. If you form a basic C major chord by selecting the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes of the major scale, you have harmonized that C root note by thirds. If you keep harmonizing by thirds, you arrive at the tensions. In the case of a major chord, the available tensions are the 7th, the 9th, the sharp 11th, and the 13th, which is also the 6th of the chord. I prefer to call that A note the 6th and not the 13th. The tensions, or extensions, are the notes that add interest and color and character to the chords, such as in the case of C add 9, or the beautiful C major 7. It stands to reason. If it's a nice sounding chord with an interesting character, those exact same notes can become a nice sounding lick or melody with an interesting character. Here you see a chart of the basic C major triad with its melodic extensions. Each one of those notes has its own character and color. The major 7 sounding beautiful, pretty, and jazzy. The 9th is a notoriously sweet note with a heavenly sound. The sharp 11 sounds a little unstable, as if it were demanding resolution to a more stable note. And the 13th, which I always think of as the 6th, has a very sweet and interesting sound. In this series of diagrams, you can see how I was thinking during the previous playing example. See how the melodic tensions relate to the basic C major chord shape found on fret 8. The notes in the basic chord shape are already a limitless source of rich melodic material, but when combined with the tensions, this chordal style of playing melody gets a whole new life. Next, let's look at a chart of a basic C minor triad with its melodic extensions. As with the major chord, each one of those melodic extensions are tensions, has its own sound character and color. In this case, The 6th, or 13th, retains its sweet and interesting sound. The flat 7 is funky and moving. Here, the natural 9th also retains its heavenly and beautiful sound. And the 11th is a cool and jazzy note. In this series of diagrams, we can see how the melodic tensions relate to the basic C minor chord shape found on fret 8. Of course, the notes in the basic chord shape sound great on their own, but when you have the ability to embellish these chord licks with melodic tensions, you start coming up with things that sound great and are really special.